Hi, this is Gabe Brown, and I'm back with the next lab, which is focusing on discovering the important differences between get pull and get fetch. So for those of you who are intermediate or experts, you may have run into situations where get pull may stop working. And by stop working, meaning your changes aren't showing up. You're running into weird issues where someone may have some changes locally. They've made the change, they've pushed it up, but for some reason it's not showing up locally. And so in that case, what happens is get pull has an option where you can actually use two separate commands called get fetch and get merge. So what does get pull do? So let's take a quick peek. So we'll do a quick example here. I've got two tabs in my repository. I have the same repository checked out into two different locations, one called Lab 1 and one called Copy 2. And so this will let me simulate what would happen if I had a checkout on my desktop, and let's say a friend on your project has one checked out on his project or on his desktop as well. So we're simulating two people looking at the same repository. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my trusty README file and say I made a change, and type this into the file and save that to the disk. So on my first client, you can see I can see the README file has been changed. And so I'm going to commit that file and say I made a change. So git commit am, saying commit all changes, and the message I made a change. Press enter. And now I'm going to push those changes up to the remote repository, so publishing the changes for other people to get. So now I run git push, and ta-da! So now I've pushed the change to development. So now I'm going to jump to my other PC, or my other tab here, which is simulating another user looking at this. I'm going to type get pull. So I'm going to receive the change that that other user sent. And you can see the README file has changed. And if I do a less on README, so let's look at the first top content of the file, you can see I made a change at the very top there. So as a developer, my other friend made a change, and I was able to receive that change using get pull. Now let's do that same thing again, but let's do it with get fetch and get merge and talk about how they're different. So I'm going to first off make another change saying I made another change. And so I'm going to type again git commit -am I made another change. Commit that to my repository, and then I'm going to type git push and push that to my remote repository. And you can see it looks like I committed. So now I'm going to go to my second tab here. So this is simulating another user that's fetching this. So get pull effectively does a get fetch and a get merge all in one instruction. So the first example I'm going to type is get fetch. And what get fetch does is it connects to the repository and across all branches downloads all the changes that occurred. And that's updating for your remote tracking branches. So that's listed in your remotes configuration file. So it pulls down everything that you're tracking. And you can see that it saw a change in development that was pushed up to origin development. Origin meaning it describing the remote server that we're speaking to, in this case, which is my GitHub project. So now I'm going to type git merge, and I'm going to say git merge origin development. Now when we type git merge, we're always merging into our local branch. So I'm taking the changes from origin development, so from the remote server, and merging it into my local repository, which is development. And you can see it looks like readme.md was changed. And so if I type less readme, you can see at the top here, I made another changes there. So you can see it's get fetch and get merge function just nearly identical to get pull. The major difference is when to use get fetch and get merge is when you're running into trouble where for some reason files are missing, or something's not working correctly, or changes are not appearing. That's a point where get fetch and get merge helps a lot, because I find that if get pull ever stops working or does weird things, get fetch and get merge often times resolves the issue. And that's the difference.